What's up, buds? Welcome to another episode of the Earbuds Podcast. This is a podcast where two good friends listen to one good album for a good amount of time. I am your co-host, Ash, motherfucking John Moxley, fucking Kingston, fucking Orange Cassidy. These are all students of mine that I fucking brought up from zero to legends. With me is Lucas. I don't know what much he's done. Have you trained any wrestlers or?
I mean, I was the Dominican Dragon for like 20 years. I can't believe you didn't even acknowledge that.
I guess you did try that out. It was cute.
Yeah, I tried it out for like 2 decades.
Yeah. No, I mean, you were the champion for most of that, so you didn't really get to like...
Goddamn right. I mean, I invented my own championship, but I held it for a long time.
But you did held, and no one even tried to challenge you for it, honestly.
Yeah, I never had to defend it once. It was fucking awesome.
Today, we are reviewing an album that I love very much. I brought to the podcast. Before we have reviewed... this artist's album that came out 2 years ago, I believe.
Yes, The Forever Story.
Yes, and this is JID's The Never Story.
The Never Story. Yeah, man. First time listening to this album was for this show.
Yeah, man. I'm really excited to see what you think about it. It's the first, I think, major label album. I think he made some mixtapes before, but I think this is like the big start into music for him.
Yeah, this was a big one, and you can kind of tell by the lack of features on it, like that this is his first record.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Earth Gang, which is like people he pretty much started off with from like ground zero.
Six Black.
Right? Yeah. And
Mariba?
Mariba? Is that
Mariba?
I don't know. I don't think that's the name, but
okay.
But yeah, really an album with little to no features on it, which I don't know. It can be kind of refreshing sometimes.
It can be, and it's always especially impressive to me when an album has very few features and the artist can carry the whole record. Because I feel like so many fucking rappers rely on features. But I heard a cool distinction the other day of someone talking about the difference between a rapper and an MC. And like the main difference was that a rapper raps for money and an MC raps because they have something to say.
I think you probably heard that from an MC.
I would imagine.
I don't think that's true.
I think if you want to make a distinction, it's a pretty cool distinction to make. And then they started asking the guy like, well, then like Ice Spice, and he was like rapper, like Cardi B rapper, like Ty Dolla $ign rapper. But then he was like Kendrick is an MC, J. Cole's an MC, like JID, Lil Wayne, and it's like these people that do it because they have something to say and they want to like express themselves versus someone who's rapping because they can make money from it.
I think that's pretty reductive. I don't know about that fucking take, honestly.
I think it's only just if you want to make a distinction. To me, it's like it's the same thing as making a distinction between a movie and a film.
I mean, yeah, it's the same petty kind of
argument. It's the same petty argument, yeah. But it's what I was getting at was that like this does sound like in the nicest way possible. To say this, I think it definitely sounds like a debut album from a rapper, from an MC, whatever.
Like just in that the kind of song topics or like.
Well, so I had never heard this record before, right? The earliest I'd heard from him was DiCaprio 2, which came out like right after this one.
Yeah.
Fucking great album, but I think. If I had not heard DiCaprio 2, or especially if I hadn't heard The Forever Story before I'd ever listened to this album, I would like this album way more. But he just got so much better on each record with each release, you know, that it's like he just got better and better so far. So it's like you go back to this and you're like, wow, he's already really fucking good at this point, you know, in his debut album. But it's like I can tell that it's his debut album. I'm like, okay, like he hasn't gotten as fucking like, you know, beefed out.
Just into it. I mean, throughout his songs, he said that at the start, rapping was kind of a side hustle for him, right? Like, he didn't take it too seriously. I think by the time
crazy.
I think by the time this album came out, he was taking it more seriously.
He sounds like all in.
Yeah, yeah.
This, you know, yeah. I'd be amazed. That's amazing that it's like he just kind of did it on the side. Like, was he trapping? Is that what he did?
I mean, I don't know. This is just from lyrics and songs and stuff. You know that he was super into football. He thought that was going to be his thing.
Oh, football.
And then he was kind of rapping on the side of that, and then he
feel bad for assuming it was.
I think he got kicked out of college. You know, dropped out of football, and he was like, "Well, damn, I guess I'll make this side hustle like my new thing." And now I'm gonna make. I assume he's like, now I'm gonna make the Never Story instead of just these kind of mixtapes that I was doing.
Oh yeah, so this was considered a mixtape, and same with DiCaprio too.
I don't think these are mixtapes. I think they're albums.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
In that, a mixtape is like a lot more independent, and an album is kind of.
Yeah, usually mixtapes aren't released. Like they don't have like a wide release or anything.
Yeah. That I just knew he released. It was called Cakewalk and Cakewalk 2, were the mixtapes he released.
Okay. Yeah, man. Like and that's what I mean, because in the nicest way possible, this does sound like a debut album, but it's still, if I had heard this when it came out, it would have been such a standout debut to me. I'm like, this is such a strong outing for your first record.
I think so. This is the first that I heard of JID. Was
when it came out?
No, it was a little after it came out. I think DiCaprio 2 had just come out, and I saw the music video for Ed, Ed and Eddie on YouTube and checked it out, and it was like, it's kind of weird. Like, how young is this kid? He sounds like he's like 12 years old on this song.
He does have a very nasally voice.
And it just like, that song stuck in my head, and I finally like, okay, who is this? Checked out the album Never Story. I was like, fuck, man. I'm still really into this album.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because the album, it's only been, well, I guess now it's been like 7 years since this came out.
It's been a bit.
But it sounds older to me for some reason.
Really?
I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just kind of like, I thought this was like a 2012 record or something. It's just, and I was seeing like JID or JID was 27 when this album came out.
He was 27?
Yeah. He was born in 1990.
He sounds so young throughout this whole
He sounds so young, and that's pretty old for your debut record as a rapper. Like, rapping's a young man's game, you know? So it's like, that's crazy to see that this album came out in 2017. It's kind of like nuts to me. I don't know why. It feels like it should have been at least 5 years before that, and I have no way of explaining why I feel that way.
Well, damn. And so what parts of this album, what parts of JID do you think grew throughout his next records, through DiCaprio 2 and Forever Story?
I think it's like he already has his voice for a lot of, you know, for the most part, but I think he has his playfulness every now and then of how he'll kind of like switch up his flow or switch up his voice or something just to be a little sillier on certain parts. But I think the main thing that for me that changed is his confidence, like his overall just like bravado from the Forever Story to this.
Really?
I feel like this one feels a little like reserved, you know? It feels a little...
He's saying your best shit ain't better than my worst shit yet.
Yeah, but that's Six Black saying that. I know it's a technicality.
I think that's...
But
I mean, a lot of this record is him doing some fucking bravado rap.
Yeah, I think it's to me, it's his voice. It's like the confidence in his voice feels like he feels much stronger on the Forever Story that he does on this one. I mean, clearly his pen has been there the whole time. You know, like his lyricism on this album, for the most part, is again like standout for a debut record. It's really impressive. But the record does lose steam for me at a certain point. Yeah.
I think there are some flyover tracks, but I didn't think it lost steam.
He pretty much kills it on most tracks on this record, but it's like, did he sing this much in his later stuff? I don't remember this much singing in the Forever Story.
He sang a good amount on the Forever Story, but I think he only sings like on 3 or 4 songs on this one.
Out of like
12?
12 or something?
Yeah.
It's kind of a lot. There's more R&B on this than in his later stuff.
Maybe. There is like somebody...
There's 2 breakup songs back to back.
Yeah, Hereditary and All Bad are
it's weird.
Kind of... But I don't know. I love his voice. Did you see that as a detriment?
In Hereditary, I thought it was a little bit of like, I don't know. It's kind of annoying. The song was a little annoying to me, but All Bad I liked a lot. You like? That's so catchy.
That chat, it's all
bad. It's really nice.
That's but the truth. You can't handle it.
Yeah, it's nice, but yeah, I feel like for some reason, it's not for some reason, but it's like Hereditary, All Bad, Underwear, 807 or 8701, like Hood Booger. For some reason, like those songs just don't grab me. Like the end of the album, the second half of the album, like doesn't grab me nearly as much as the first.
Damn,
yeah.
Because I think,
and I felt it every time I listened to it.
The couple flyovers are in that area, are in that section of the album, but I think it's obviously seems like I enjoyed this album a lot more than you did.
I think if you enjoyed the whole album where you don't feel like there's a lull ever for you, then yeah, for sure, like but guaranteed. It's for me, it's definitely like for some reason something happens with the beats halfway through that the beats stop grabbing me, and I think a big thing that happened is that the beats kind of lose some of their energy halfway through the album. It comes back. Like Underwear has like good energy to it, you know, like fucking Somebody has energy, even though I really don't like Somebody. But I think a big thing is like the songs do slow down a little bit as the album goes on. And then so because of that, JID's delivery slows down a little bit. And that kind of takes away a lot of what I like about JID is his energy.
Well, yeah, it definitely starts off with General, where he's just doing bar after bar after bar after bar, and then Never.
General is so good.
Never, where he's got this flow. Never had shit, never had shit, never that dude, never that dude, that dude.
Yeah.
And then Division. To go into, yeah, Hereditary does kind of start the more chill section, though Underwear brings it up, and I mean, it's
I don't know. There's weird beats, I think, at the end of the album too. Like Hood Booger sounds like a Pusha T song to me, and I'm not a huge fan. So like, and the beat sounds like a Pusha T beat. He's doing Pusha T type of delivery. He almost sounds like him, you know. And they're both kind of nasally. So the beat on Somebody, I just could not. It sounded like a kids show, and I just hated it.
I fucking love that. You don't love the fucking playfulness of that?
I knew you would. Like that's I knew
God
that.
forbid shit sounds different.
It's just, to me, I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. You know, it's like there's not a lot of people that can pull that off for me, and I think Tierra Whack and No Name are kind of the only people that I want to hear rap over music like that.
Woman.
A little bit. It makes it a little easier to swallow it for me. It's a smaller pill. And I thought Lauder was like a great JID performance, but I thought the beat was boring, and especially for a closing track, I thought it was pretty boring. Yeah, it didn't feel like a closing track.
It is very like it does sound very deep in its own feels.
Yeah.
Kind of an atmospheric thing with little kind of echoey, reverby notes throughout.
Yeah, and and again, like JID is great on it, but when I was listening to it, I'm like, it's weird. It doesn't feel like a last song. Like it has no sort of epicness to it. For how epic the opening track is, it's such a great intro for the album.
Well, to me, he was kind of. I thought it was a great final track from the shit he was saying. You know.
Again, his lyricism is so great on this record.
And I think that more than the music itself might have been what he was focusing on for it. And it is one of the less, like, I guess, outstanding tracks on the record. But I thought, first off, I thought you were into
First of all,
I thought you liked boring-ass fucking beats that don't change for 6 minutes.
Wrong.
Second.
There's so much nuance that you're missing when you talk about being reductive.
Oh my god. He's saying a lot of shit on this song. And I think having a last song where it's like basically like just my voice, just rapping, like kind of a chorus. I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Sometimes those decisions and the chances that, especially rappers take when they decide to use a really stripped down beat or like almost like a non beat, like how Drake will rap over shit that's not even a beat to me. Like I just can't, it's hard for me to get into. Like one of the things I like about hip hop is a hard bass and to be honest, for me, the songs that didn't grab me as much or that I found boring, because mostly the beats were boring, which made JID kind of boring to me. To me, felt like the songs that the beat was just like, yeah, just give me something. It just felt like, just give me something to rap over. It's like the songs that really got me, fucking, like we already mentioned, General, Doo-Wop, Never, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Division. Like for some reason, all of those felt so much more deliberate, and some of the music on the second half of the album just feels like I need a song.
I really don't feel that way at all about the latter beats. I think there's a lot of stuff in there to listen for, and I think like if you're gonna evaluate in the compass of this album itself, then yeah, they're kind of, not as interesting in the first couple songs, but if you're comparing this to like all other rap that is like copy and paste fucking trap,
yeah, most rap is really bad.
It's like, I don't know, I think there's a lot of interesting stuff in most, if not all, these beats, except for maybe Lauder, and I think like Underwear was kind of
Underwear. I liked the beat a lot, but man, the hook annoyed the hell out of me.
Yeah, I don't know why he's underwear. Underwear? No, it's underwear. And it's like,
and then he's like, ha ha ha, he said underwear each time, and it was obvious that they just like copied and pasted that.
I mean,
because it was the exact same every time.
I don't know why he did that. That was probably
weird
my
choice.
Least favorite part of the album.
It was the worst hook. It's the worst hook on the record. Yeah. But I'll admit that I love the music in All Bad. It's not like I hated all the slow music. Like All Bad is a great song.
And is that just from like the kind of jazzy piano or like?
It just sonically just sounded great. The bass was really nice. I really love the hook. I think it's like one of the catchiest hooks on the record. I dig that type of R&B. It reminds me a lot of Smino and Saba and like BJ the Chicago Kid and like all these new kind of R&B / rap guys.
Sure.
That JID fits so well in there, but he is just the best MC out of all those fucking people. Like it's not even close. I think so. It's not even close. But I did like All Bad for one of the slower songs. I love the beat in Underwear, and I really liked 8701. I thought the beat was kind of weird. I don't know what the sample was. It was just kind of was weird, but I could dig it at times, and I loved that really deep synth bass.
Yeah, there's a lot of great production on this record, and especially in terms of like bass.
Just
makes it
like
a really great
rumbled.
album. Yeah, to listen to on headphones or in a car or something.
Yeah, this is a great Stone record, for sure.
But yeah, with 8701 kind of having this guitar, bass, drum kind of small thing going on.
Yeah, and I think when there's this like really stripped down kind of percussion, and then there's not much else going on in the song, I just kind of, my brain starts to just kind of wander. And so I just found myself every time I was listening to it, I'm like, man, Hereditary like really took me out.
Man, that's
And
sad to hear.
yeah, it's a bummer. And it was like after Hereditary, just the whole rest of the album, I'm like, what? How much is left?
Oh.
And I love JID, you know? So yeah, it was kind of hard. But man, I don't even know if we can like over I don't even know, like he's just so good. Like JID is just fucking
No,
amazing.
yeah, I think he's as a person who's not very invested in rap, especially these days. Like I'm not keeping up or anything. He's probably one of my favorite rappers today.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And
he's on my top 10 right now, I would say.
I listened to DiCaprio 2 a good bit ago.
It's good.
That album had great stuff in it too. It's just like I don't know. He's a special talent that comes around once every while, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's like, I wished I had heard this when it came out in 2017 because it would have fucking blown me away. And it's weird because I was hovering right around this stuff. I was listening to a lot of Mick Jenkins at the time and a lot of Earth Gang at the time, and it's like for somehow JID just like flew under my radar for a couple years.
Did you not get into Spillage Village?
I need to listen to Spilligion. I was like, dude, that is probably a fucking great album. Because I'll also say that Earth Gang is, I think, my favorite. Run the Jewels and Earth Gang are the best rap duos right now.
I don't know how big that list is, but I'd have to agree.
Yeah, I feel like there's probably not a lot of competition, but man, I love Earth Gang so much, and I love JID and Earth Gang. So I have to listen to Spilligion. That's the name of it, right? Spilligion?
Yeah, it's Spilligion.
Yeah, I have to listen to that because, like, when we listened to that Earth Gang EP for one of our episodes,
Rags.
Yeah, JID is on the first track. He's the first verse on the album.
Yeah, and he fucking killed it.
And he killed it. And they're just so good together.
I think he was best feature that year for the Ear Buddies.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And I think Earth Gang produces a lot of their own beats, and I think they produced Division. And I think Earth Gang beats and JID's everything are just like a match made in heaven. Like I want to hear him rap over Earth Gang beats only.
I'm pretty sure it was the rapper. Who's that fucking J. Cole? It's a J. Cole beat.
Oh, it's a J. Cole beat.
Yeah, Division.
Okay.
I specifically like read that somewhere.
It's a great beat. J. Cole also did he did Lauder.
Interesting.
Yeah, but almost every other song is a different producer.
Really? Do you have like a list in front of you?
Yeah, for sure. It looks like Childish Major had the most. He did like 3 songs. And then everyone else just has 1, it looks like.
Oh, and so did J. Cole make Division?
J. Cole did Division along with Johnny Venus, half of Earth Gang. And then J. Cole did Lauder with Christo. I don't know who Christo is.
Did Earth Gang do any of the other beats on here? Mm-mm. Damn. Well,
yeah. There's like Latrell James and OZ, The Additive, The Officials, Hollywood JB.
I don't know.
SMKA, Smika. Yeah. But it's interesting because it made me think of Good Kid, Mad City whenever I looked at the producers on this, because I thought Good Kid, Mad City was all one producer. You know?
Yeah. I also thought this was kind of 1 or 2 producers, so I'm honestly a little shocked to hear that it was so many different ones.
Yeah.
I wonder how, like, if it's the rappers that make sure their album is cohesive, or like, because it doesn't sound like a disjointed record.
That's what's always so impressive to me, and that kind of tells you, because for sure JID picked these, right? Like he picked all the beats and everything, I'm sure. So it's kind of tells you like how locked in they are on like the sound that they're trying to make.
Sure.
Or the sound that they want to have on the record. So, but again, it's like, it sounds like it could be one or two producers, but there are a lot of different vibes on this record. So it's like, even then, on his more R&B songs or the happier ones or the darker ones, it's like, it all sounds like it could come from the same hands, you know? And that's JID, you know, being a fucking artist.
Yeah. Sure.
Not just a rapper, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's funny to like recognize that the music's pretty cohesive, sonically it all sounds really good, blah blah blah, and still be like, yeah, and I didn't really like some of it. So, you know. Damn.
Well, were there I mean, I could go on about my fucking praises for this album. Lyricism is great throughout the whole thing. JID has a unique voice that you can't really mix up with anyone else. He's got great flow. He's got like great technique. I thought, like,
he has many flows.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved, like, most, albeit like one or two of the beats of the music on here. I think it dragged a little at fucking Underwear and like 8701, but even on further listen, I do like 8701 a little more than
yeah, I like that song. I just like Six Black a lot. Like every time I hear him on something, I'm like, I need to listen to more Six Black.
And I think it's a fucking fantastic debut record that hits a lot of vibes, like you said, but remains cohesive, but interesting.
Yeah.
But I want to know, I don't know, did you have anything else to say about this record before we got into our next segment?
No, I have said my piece. I'm okay with what I've said.
Okay.
I have no retractions. I have no regrets.
All right, and you're gonna have to live with that. So make sure you're
living.
Sure.
Oh, I'm living, baby.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll get into our ratings of the record.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I am a little scared to hear yours. I honestly thought you were going to be a little more hype on this fucking record. But
I wanted to be, man. Every time I started the record, I'm just like, oh, it's so good. Oh, this is so good. And then I'm just like,
well, because like
by the end, I'm just like, I'm bored.
We'll talk about it more, but bro, that intro,
doo-wop is just so
fucking into like general, which is like one of my favorite like tiny little music things, where they're doing this one thing and then like a snare into the music.
Yeah. General is just such a hype banger of a song. It's just like such a great opener.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you want me to do my rating first?
Yeah, go ahead and do it so that I can kind of pick the energy back up.
Yeah, pull it. I'll just rip it off like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've already said everything. JID is so impressive on this record, especially for it being a debut album. I can't think of off the top of my head a rapper that would have impressed me this much had I heard it when it first came out. And I think that's the only disservice that this album has going against it, to be honest, is that I've heard everything that's come out after this that, in my opinion, is better.
Sure.
And JID only got better. So, like, yeah. So it sucks, like, having to, going back and being like, man, if I had heard this first, this would be probably one of my favorite JID albums,
Yeah.
But still, removing that from the equation, it's like, I really, really love JID. It's hard to honestly admit that there's some songs that I don't like on this album, but it's like, it is what it is. I think overall it's a really good debut. But yeah, some songs just like really, really lost me. So I'm going to give this like a hard 6.5.
Okay. All right.
No.
Okay. I'll take that.
You'll take okay.
I'll take that. Knowing that a big part of it is that his later catalog, he at
It's
least
just so fucking good.
he matures quite a good bit, and I think, like we saw in the Forever story, he's got a great like storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
He's great at telling stories, and in a way that isn't cheesy or weird or disjointed.
Yeah, and I think
and
the main
it's-
thing that was missing from this album for me was the energy that I like from him, because like even on this record he didn't really rap that fast, and that's something that he's like so good at, and he's like amazing at it now.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the biggest difference I feel like in his earlier stuff. It's like he was slower and didn't feel like every song needed to be this like energetic, like lots and lots of words.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean 6.5. Come on.
It's fine.
It's fair.
Your score isn't quite as good as mine. Or
No, I'd be
quite as
disappointed if
accurate.
it was. I'd be disappointed if it was.
But the correct answer here was an 8.6.
Holy Jesus Christ.
It's a great fucking record. The Forever story is, I think, the better record. By far. Though by far,
Not
I
even
think
close.
I gave it like a 9 point something in our review of it, and I've only liked it more since we've put out that review. But I think there are just some great songs on here that can't be slept on. A couple that you apparently did not like. Kind of talking about one of my fucking Nar Nugs,
Ooh.
which is that's gonna hurt.
Oh boy.
But I think it's a great collection of record of fucking songs, interesting music, great. I mean, one of the best like rappers today. I think anyone could say that. I think that's easy.
Yeah. I don't think anyone could argue with that, honestly.
And yeah, I don't know, man. I just love this fucking record, and it's so well produced. It's like ear candy a lot of the time with some of these songs.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the bass and the synth that they use on it. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah. So an 8.6 from me.
I think you said 8.7 before.
I'm pretty sure it said 8.6.
That's an amazing rating. So I love that you love this album that much.
I love this fucking dude, man. What can I say?
I love this guy too. And I just saw that him and Smino are going on tour. So I
shit.
I don't know if that was last year or if that's happening right now, so I'm very excited for that.
Oh, fuck. I gotta see if he's coming through Seattle.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn.
It might have been last year. I don't know.
Well, let's talk about some fucking nugs, baby.
Let's do it.
Seems like you're probably gonna put the first 5 songs.
All my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I have a couple NARs. Division is one of my honorable mentions.
I just love hearing Earth Gang and other people's
love
songs,
them.
man. They got great
love
features.
them.
I love how they modified his verse in that song. You know?
What do you mean?
Like my elevate massage station finding it. My elevating stash in the comb. You know, that part.
I don't remember that.
It's like I think it's like the first part of the song. It's like the first vocals that come in.
Oh, okay.
And it's like a later verse that he does on the song. And it just makes it sound weird, and like it like putting effects on Earth Gang's vocals just make it sound, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think their vocals
stuff is-
welcome effects very much.
Yeah, their voices are really interesting, and their stuff is just so like swimmy and trippy and dreamy already. Like their beats.
Yeah.
So just like affecting their voice at all just adds so much to it. Love their verses on there as well. I thought they both killed it. Another honorable mention for me is All Bad. Really, really liked that song a lot.
Yeah, it was very, very slow, kind of atmospheric almost beat.
Yeah, JID, the The melody is super, super catchy. JID's voice sounds great. Even though it's a little affected also, I think there's a little auto-tune on there. It like still sounds really nice. And Mariba has a great voice. I hope that's how you pronounce her name, but she has a great voice too. So like I really liked her part there towards the end.
Yeah.
But one of my and doo-wop. Just a great intro track.
Yeah.
Pretty epic. But my first choice nug has got to be General.
Yep, that's one of mine as well.
That's my favorite beat on the album.
It's, it seems like it was one of the beats where I was like, oh, there's not really much happening on this thing. But
dude,
there kind of is. There's this like guitar with a very wavy, weird effect kind of going through the whole thing.
It sounds like Bad Bad Not Good almost to me.
Yeah. It's got
like,
that prominent, like, it's probably a double bass or a stand-up bass or something.
Sounds like either a fretless bass or like a double bass. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
It almost, to me, the beat sounds like dub reggae mixed with like world jazz or something, like world music jazz. Is that like just that doo 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 doo?
It might be. And kind of straightforward hip hop beat, dude. God.
Yeah.
And it just works so well. And he's just like, he's just going off the whole time.
He's just spitting the whole time. Just like such an amazing like intro to this man.
Yeah.
Like to this.
Yeah.
It's like,
for
fuck.
Sure.
It's so good. And yeah, by far my favorite beat on the record. And it's just it's very dubby reggae and it's the coolest track on the album.
Sure. I think that's a good argument that you can make.
Yeah. And I will.
Yeah. One of my Nar Nugs as well.
Hell yeah. So good. It reminds me of like I think it's Bad Bad Not Good, but that bass line that on this one, that do 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 do.
Yeah.
I think there's a Bad Bad Not Good song that goes like doom doom do 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 doom doom do 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 do, and it's just like so similar. And I was just like, I don't know if like one inspired the other, or because Bad Bad Not Good works with a lot of hip hop artists now.
Yeah, sure.
But
I wouldn't know.
And I love Bad Bad Not Good so much that like it made me like this Bad Bad Not Good sounding beat so much. Just that it sounded like them.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, such a good song.
I'm gonna go through my Narnerables, and then I'll guess
Is it gonna be all of them?
It's not all of them, but it's pretty
Okay.
close.
Okay.
Never is a song that goes great the whole time. Has probably, an amazing switch up halfway through it. Where it kinda gets,
I might as well tell you that that's my second choice nug.
Damn, okay. Never.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the hook. Weirdly enough for it being like my second favorite song, but the instrumental is so good.
In the hook, the never did shit, never had shit, never do
that
thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, even if that being a part you don't like about the song and still saying it's your like second favorite song on the record it's some praise.
Yeah, because the verses are incredible. JID is amazing on it. The beat is just so fucking sick, dude. Like the doo 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 like synth thing in the background that's like super airy, like horns, and that switch up is just so hard.
Yeah, it's so
hard.
He has a lot of like static things throughout this album, like to start off songs or for this switch up, and it switches into something that's like a lot more upbeat. It kind of reminds me of that hidden song on Good Kid, Mad City. The what was it called?
It's been a while since I listened to that album,
man. But it had fucking Dre on it. Compton.
Oh,
is that what it was called?
I think so. I can't. Man, I'm fucking high. I can't remember exactly.
It is Compton.
But oh, nice. Okay, yeah, dude. The different flow is so good after the switch up in the middle of the song. The new beat is just so fucking sick, and it is such a different vibe than the first half of the song. Like I just love that, and it has like one of my favorite 2 lines of any song on there where he's like, "Little savage ass, ratchet ass, bastard ass, having ass, rapping ass, jacking ass, wait." I'm like, ah. And it's like when he says wait, the beat stops and then it fucking comes back in right after, and I'm just like, it gets me. It's not that hard to fucking tickle my balls.
And I do.
It doesn't take
every
a lot.
Single day.
You try. I mean,
it's hard to fly over there every morning. Sometimes you're not home.
It's getting expensive, I'm sure. But I like it.
Well, as long as you like it, I'm gonna keep doing it.
So it's worth it.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. That song is awesome.
So hard.
Another one of my honorables is Ed, Ed and Eddie, which is the first song that I found him with, and was almost a Narnug.
I thought it was gonna be.
It was close.
I'm really surprised it isn't.
I like the music video. I like the weird organs going through the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a weird beat. It's kind of an old. It reminded me of like an old school like East Coast beat, almost like Wu-Tang or something.
Maybe it just has these like extremely breathy like church organs.
Kind of sounds like an old sample from an old movie or something.
Yeah, something like that. Lauder, I think, was really good way to finish out the album for me.
Or at least it was for one of us.
Never
had shit, never did shit, never did shit, shit.
I don't think this is an honorable mention, but it is. I love the fucking beat on Somebody, even though Lucas is not into it. I love the fucking jazzy little high key notes.
Sounds like fucking Charlie Brown.
All right. Fucking all right. Keep not enjoying music, I guess. But my second nug, Lucas is not going to enjoy it. It's Hereditary, baby. Why you playing with my heart?
Are you serious?
Hereditary, baby. Want to take me from the start? No. But that ain't the way. That song's fucking killer.
It's just so boring.
It is not. It's like an extremely beautiful song, and I love his voice on it.
I do like the sentiment where he's saying like, it wasn't a waste of time. I think it's a nice touch. Like I've never been a fan of rapper breakup songs. I just think they're always like kind of lame.
Sure.
It's hard to make it sound cool, but I do like his message kind of in it where it's just like, but it still like wasn't a mistake or a waste of time, even though it's over. And I think you don't hear that in a lot of breakup songs. So I thought that was nice.
I think it's him trying to, I interpreted it as him in a way trying to figure out a reason to why this person like kind of betrayed him and trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, trying to like forgive her in his own way. And I just I love the music this whole time. There's like little horns that come in every once in a while that kind of accentuate the endings of a bar or verse.
The chorus is pretty catchy.
Yeah, that chorus gets stuck in my head all the time.
Yeah.
I just think it's a great it's got a great groove too,
I feel like it would be a good driving at night song.
Yeah.
Like it seems like a good car song.
Yeah.
I feel like when I was walking my dog or sitting at my computer or something, it kind of bored me, but I think I could vibe if I was driving and had it, on really loud.
I think
nice and bassy.
You could have the potential to vibe. I think for sure.
There's definitely vibe potential for sure.
So man, it made me I was like, fuck, this is the song where he was like, oh, the album lost all momentum. It's like, damn.
I mean, yeah,
that's rough.
It's because honestly, the music did kind of bore me on it, and it's so weird how it just took Hereditary to kind of lose me, and not a lot after that pulled me back.
Damn.
All it took was Hereditary, one of your favorite songs.
Another fucking classic case of my haters fucking hating on me every single fucking day. Number one haters in the fucking game. Let's go, chat.
I fucking felt bad, honestly, even going into this episode, because I'm like, I feel like, we've gone back to trying to talk about albums that we know that one of us loves, and rather than just kind of random shit that we've done a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm like, man, I feel bad. I feel like the last 3 or 4 things that Ash has brought, I haven't dug that much.
I mean, I don't know. We have pretty similar music tastes, but if we're bringing in specific shit that we're like, yeah, this shit is fire. Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty hit or miss. It's not like you didn't like the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets album, right?
No, I liked it a lot, yeah. But yeah, it's there hasn't been I started feeling guilty. I'm like, am I being harder on these albums just because it's not the album I brought or something? I'm like, I don't think I am.
No,
I don't think
man,
I'm necessarily trying to.
I don't think that's what you're about.
And I mean, honestly, it reminds me more of when we first started Earbuds, that a lot of times if it was something I loved, it wasn't guaranteed that you were gonna like it, and it almost made it more interesting conversation where we disagreed on things and we were trying to convince each other and everything. Because it's I don't know. I think the more that we do that concept, the more that we kind of do sometimes have wildly different opinions, rather than we listen to Margot Price and we were just yeah, okay.
Just
when it's something that we care about.
It was fine.
Yeah. When it's music that we care about, an album that we really care about, I think that's when it kind of brings out the differing,
fucking tearjerkers.
Yeah, the tearjerkers.
I've been crying throughout this whole podcast. You can't tell if it's audio only. I've been doing it silently.
Yeah, it's been really distracting and
I just don't know why you can't love me like
upsetting.
I love you. Is
you're asking for a lot. I'm not gonna fly there to tickle your balls.
What? You not even
I'm
once?
sorry.
Not even one time? Come
if
on.
you pay for it.
What are you doing next Friday?
If you pay for it.
If I pay for it? All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we'll be filming next week's video in Seattle. Lucas will be fondling my balls the whole time.
Yeah.
Hopefully getting a little chuckle out of me.
We'll get a ball cam.
We're going to have a ball cam.
Yeah, we'll finally have our third co-host.
I think Lucas is going to bring his driving gloves so he doesn't get calluses from tickling my balls so much.
Yeah, I don't want to get calluses or shingles from your balls. So
both have an equal chance of getting onto you, yeah.
That's what you said it was last time. It was shingles, which I didn't know you could get shingles down there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it happens. It's no one really knows what
I looked it up.
Yet.
I looked, I couldn't find it online.
Weird.
Any information
Crazy.
about
My doctor said that though, so I don't know.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Hey, thank you, everybody.
Find us on the YouTube. Find us on the podcasts. We have an Instagram that we don't do a lot with. If you want to follow us on there, tell your friends, rate and review, recommend some shit, share it, send links. Fucking, if you're listening to this on Spotify, we have little Q&As on some of the episodes that you can actually fucking comment on an episode and we'll, respond on the next episode, I guess, or whatever. The next album that we're going to be talking about.
Yes. What is it, good sir?
Let me look.
Okay. All right. I kind of thought you had something ready since you queued it up yourself.
I don't have something immediately ready.
Cool. DiCaprio 2, baby.
You know what? let's just go like kind of wild.
Okay.
I know it's not always your cup of tea, but I think it'd be interesting to talk about a metal album.
Okay. All right.
After this, we're going to talk about Nightmare Logic by Power Trip.
Yes. Oh, this Power Trip is a band I've been kind of confused about. So I'm actually very excited to get into this album.
What's confusing you about Power Trip?
Well, I remember when the singer died, it was a big deal to everyone. Everyone was kind of talking about it, and I had never heard of them before that. Mm-hmm. But people were saying oh, they're the future of metal, or they're the next Metallica. They're going to be this. They were going to be that. And then I listened to some songs, and it was just, oh, this is just basic ass metal. I don't see what's different here.
Wow.
But it's been a long time.
Wow.
I'm very excited.
The gall.
I'm very excited to listen to this album and be proven wrong. I want artists to be good. I want to listen to good music. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll definitely say that Nightmare Logic is a fucking killer thrash metal record.
Okay. Were they based out of Texas?
I think they're based out of Dallas. I think.
Okay. All right.
But man, yeah. Quick word to your mother. The singer does kind of have the same scream for the entire album. He doesn't really have a lot of range.
Okay, that's all right.
So,
thank you for warning me ahead of time.
The music's fucking sick, and we're gonna talk about it next episode. Everyone, listen to that album before you fucking come back. And this was good,
Lucas. This was good, baby.
Bye.
Bye.